And a very good morning to everybody watching on the YouTube stream for the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day between North Melbourne and Williamstown. I'm John O'Van, your host and main caller. Looking forward to a great contest here at Arden Street Oval, the spiritual home of North Melbourne, and especially where the AFL North team got an emphatic 1 point win yesterday to cement their spot in finals. To the right of me in special comments today is Elise Collette. Welcome.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
So what, I suppose, what do you expect to happen in this particular game? It looks to be an absolute cracker.
It's going to be an interesting one. I think for North, they'll be looking to make most of their chances, which they weren't able to do for a lot of the match last week. Whereas Williamstown are coming off a good win against the Bulldogs, so they'll be looking to try and maintain that momentum. So I'm looking forward to the game.
Absolutely. Just looking at the weather real quick for today's game as it slowly makes its way onto my screen here. So currently it's 18 degrees, top of 19. No chance of rain unlike yesterday, so 10%, and it currently feels like 18 degrees, so about the same. Same. No particular difference, but yeah, both teams almost out in the ground. North first to come out here onto their home ground. The umpires are out, and yeah, it's a perfect day for footy compared to yesterday, Ali.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't ask for much better conditions.
Absolutely. So let's look at the teams. I know there's plenty of players to look out for, and it's just going to be an absolute bumper day today. But I'm looking forward to watching from the Roos, the girl wearing the number 2, Jess Morney, and also Caitlyn Cox, Tani Nestor. Plenty on offer today from those girls. What do you think, Ali?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing for North is last week, Brooke Brown kicked the majority of their goals. And then she got suspended. So they're going to have to try and find other avenues to goal. And like the likes of the Hamilton sisters are probably going to have to step up even more today just to fill the void that someone like Brooke Brown leaves.
Yeah, looking to see how well the Sister Act goes today. Let's look at Williamstown briefly. I haven't seen them play yet. And I suppose they are a relatively new team to this competition, but a few names jumped at me when I was looking at the squads, and a name that comes out clear as day is the woman wearing number 2 in Sasha Long, coming from Bo Morris in the amateurs. She can really tear a game apart. Looking really forward to seeing that. Also, Emily Fox, originally coming from the St Kilda Sharks, is making her debut for Williamstown today after a horror run with an ankle injury, but she looks to be good to go. Looking forward to seeing her out on the park. Had a chat with her earlier today, and she informed me that she is not wearing the number 44. She's not wearing the number 40. She's wearing the number 4. So still got that theme with the number 4 there, but fortunately the kit supplier couldn't come in time with the new Clash kits, but Williamstown will keep the majority of their numbers, and at least everybody knows what number they're wearing in time for the game to start, which may seem fairly obvious. So out come Williamstown here in the Clash kits that I've been talking about, and so, yeah, looks to be a very interesting game. The runner just leading them out, which is a little bit, I suppose, unconventional. But, yeah. So what do you think, Ali?
Yeah, the runner leading him out's a bit unconventional, but, I mean, what is conventional these days?
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, we are 5 minutes away from bounce down here at Arden Street Oval. Looking forward to seeing what comes out of today's game. A very important one nonetheless, Ali.
Yeah, absolutely. North will be trying to bounce back. They did get a good win 2 weeks ago, but then, yeah, they would have, Shane Webster and his coaching staff would have been very frustrated after last week's game, particularly in that third quarter. They were dominant with possession, but just couldn't convert on the scoreboard. So they will definitely be looking to avoid a repeat of that. Williamstown, on the other hand, are coming off a good win against the Bulldogs, so they'll be full of momentum and confidence. So yeah, I'm not quite sure which way this game's going to go, actually.
Yeah, so as Williamstown just run a lap of the centre square, as they do currently, I'm expecting them to sort of turn back and, as the tradition goes in pre-game warm-ups, just, run back and start yelling a few things to the opposition. I couldn't quite hear any of that, but I wonder what would have been yelled out nonetheless, as it's a very important game. But I tell you what, Pennycool Arena's building something special over down there, Williamstown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's good to see that things are going well there. So about 4 minutes away from Bouncedown, and captains meet in the middle. The Williamstown captain has the call and will kick to the right of screen. So, yep, it's going to be good. I don't think the wind is going to play a factor. There's not much going on out there, is there?
No, I don't think so.
It's fairly cushy here in the commentary box here in the Arden Street media facility. It's pretty awesome compared to the having to deal with every condition possible yesterday, commentating for WARFradio.com. And they're pretty busy today as well as they were yesterday. Had to call one more game than originally expected, and got the best of both worlds in terms of conditions, 4 seasons in one day.
That's Melbourne for you.
Exactly, it is. So let's just go. Let's just have a look at, I suppose, yesterday's game, just real quick. That was here at Arden Street Oval. The AFLW Roos getting a very important win by 1 point, and salvaging it in the dying seconds. The final score, North 4-6-30. And the Dockers 4-5-29. Just watching that score ever so closely throughout the afternoon. It's like, what's going to happen? And they hang on by a thread to play finals. The scenes here were absolutely ecstatic, Ali.
I'm not surprised. And on behalf of the Melbourne Faithful, I'd just like to thank North for defeating Freo and giving us a chance at the home final next week.
Yeah, that's it. I won't say who I barrack for, but they're playing this afternoon in the AFL men's. You can figure that out for later. So, a couple of sirens, which means we're 2 minutes away, and it's a good thing that we can actually hear the siren in this very isolated box here. Isolation, the theme for 2020, and as audio engineers, we like to sound isolate things. A bit of a useless fact there, but you're going to get plenty more useless facts throughout the day, and as clubs are watching this during their midweek assessments. So, yeah, it looks to be a good game nonetheless. And, the sun's just sort of peeking through. It's been peeking through in patches, and might be a bit hard to see the play if there's a few reflections left, right and centre. But that's why the girl to the right of me in special comments has brought a pair of sunnies just in case things gets a little bit crazy. So, let's hope you don't put that on too much, because then I'll be a bit jealous, Ali. So
Can never be too prepared.
Exactly. So players are in position, as I've spoken about the sun, and out it comes. Gee, this is absolutely a perfect day for footy. Umps ready, raring to go as the boundary umpires just set in position and get ready for that now traditional 5-6-5 lineup, 16 aside in the VFLW these days, along with the AFLW. So, lots to, I guess, control, more so for the umpires these days, but at least they don't have the stand rule to deal with, Ali.
Bloody hell, that stand rule is... I think it's going to be more pain than it's worth, to be honest.
Yeah, so who knows if they're bringing it in, but I know for certain that some I suppose country footy leagues were playing to the stand rule, not knowing that it was an actual thing, and I had to tell my team that they need not worry about it. So we're ready to go. almost. And it's going to be Sarek and King to contest the first throw up by the looks of things. No, sorry, it's not Sarek. It is a very complicated centre bounce setup, but here we go. So, North managed to get the tap out as the ball goes to ground. They start to clear it out. There's a whistle, and it's going to be a free kick to North going the way of Keeley. So Keeley kicks to Hicks. Hicks goes inside 50 for North. Can they find a way out? Skinner manages to get the ball, and I tell you what, that was the most low-key commentary ever for a first goal, but nevertheless, North are on the board.
Yeah, it was good work there from North. Good short kicks, short effective kicks, and Skinner looked to be a bit off balance there, but it worked out in the end.
So North are off to a flying start here at Arden Street Oval for the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day, live here on YouTube. Thanks for your company. We're ready to go pretty quickly this time. So 5-6-5 setup, very quick compared to yesterday's matches. Also, I thought, as the umpire will throw the ball up again. Contesting the ball is Sarek for North. As the ball goes to ground, can Williamstown find a clearance? Ball in dispute again. There's Keeley with the footy. Kicks out wide, and taking the mark is Amy Smith for the Roos. So Smith kicks in short, lowers the eyes, decides to go to Hicks. Hicks at the centre line, kicks inside 50. Who can get a mark? No one can, as the ball just in dispute still. Players around the footy. As the ball goes to ground, everybody's just on top of it, and the umpire says, I'll have it. So buried under all of that was Amy Smith for the Roos. As the ball goes up, North managed to get the tap down. But the ball is in every which way, to the left, to the right, to the front, to behind, as Amy Whelan was tackled for Williamstown. But North managed to pick it up, and there was Greenacre for the Roos, just trying to regroup ever so slowly. The number 43 I actually don't have it here, unfortunately, which is a shame, but we'll find out who that is. Wearing the number 43 jumper. It's not on my team sheet. Tried to chase the footy, but it went out of bounds. So boundary throw in here. And trying to grab it with both hands was Alexia Hamilton. She couldn't quite. As the ball comes out of North's 50, trying to chase it and trying to gather was Greenacre. She eventually did, as North go inside 50 again, but cut off by the Williamstown player in Long. So Long goes out wide, tries to find Fox and actually gets her. So good to see her playing here, but she'll be awarded the mark. Fox gathers, directs the troops with a high kick that finds Dickey for Williamstown. So Dickey heads forward for Williamstown, but it is Price to cut it off for North. This ball goes to ground. Bit of a scramble to get the ball, but it's North that manages to gather. Gathering the ball is Runnels for North. Almost cut off by Wright for Williamstown. As Williamstown have the numbers at the moment, but again cut off by North through Hicks. So it's a tussle. Hicks tries to get involved, but a solid tackle laid by Greenacre. The ball goes to ground. The umpire says, I'll have it. Alice Collette, your thoughts?
Yeah, frenetic start. Very high tackle pressure from both sides here.
So Sarek looking ominous, but it's actually her opponent in King who manages to get the tap out. And Long kicks it forward for Williamstown. Williamstown, can they find a goal this time? But as players circle around the footy, gathering the footy, is the play for Williamstown, who handballs. It's number 15 in Georges. And she kicks a goal.
Great kick and great positioning there from Williamstown. They had a few options around the ball and they were able to find the space and get the goal.
So a great start to this match. 15 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on the board. The score is 1-6 apiece. This game is going to be a cracker. It's goal for goal here, Ali.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking beforehand about how we thought it might be a good game, and it seems to be living up to expectations.
Perfect weather and perfect conditions, that's for sure. As the umpire just assesses the option, as he likes to do with the 5-6-5 rule, as the ball is about to go up. So here we go again. It was Alexia Hamilton who missed the tap out for North, but players couldn't quite rove it either, as Donnell gets involved for Williamstown. Can they find an opportunity out? Yes, they can, as they come broadcast side. Not quite. Marking it was Georges, who kicked that previous goal, as Hanrahan was wrapped up for Williamstown, but Donnell comes through once again. Fox is lurking. Kicking inside the 50 was Hanrahan. Getting involved with the second efforts is good to see, but collecting the ball for North is Neil, as Morney gets involved. Can they find a clearance? Both players chase. The players in number 29, Castley, and also, No, it was Neil and Georges again, just chasing for their respective sides, and nothing eventuates. Boundary throw in the pocket to the right-hand side of the field. The ball goes up. This ball continues to be paddled around by both sides. Getting involved with the tackle there was Whelan. As they try and advance forward, Williamstown. Here's Fox with the twist and turn. Almost found a teammate. The North looking to regroup here as the scramble continues for both teams. Coming out and trying to collect it was Nestor for North, who kicks it forward. And North look to clear the footy. Just a scramble there, but they eventually do clear it out to the broadcast side. Almost collecting it was McDonald for North, but she ends up wrapping her opponent up, and her opponent was Williamson for Williamstown. Bit of a tongue twister there as the umpire gets ready to ball it up. So here we go. And North will get the chocolates here with the run and carry from Keeley, but she couldn't quite as she was dispossessed, and there's going to be a free kick to Williamstown. So Williamstown, a broadcast side, it was... Couldn't quite see the mark. I think it might have been Donnell that missed the mark for Williamstown, but as play continues, it is Slaney who has the ball for North. She kicks towards broadcast side, keeping it along the wing, and the mark has been paid to Keeley. So Keeley on broadcast side, likes to stick with the boundary, and the mark is taken by Skinner. Skinner just moves off. The umpire tells her to play on as she decides to load up and send one inside 50 towards the goal square. Almost taking the mark was McDonald. As the ball heads towards the boundary, Williamstown looking to collect themselves, and they do just that. Leighton couldn't quite for Williamstown as the ball goes to ground. The umpire says, I'll have it. 52 metres out from the goal for North. So another ball up here, and the tap out was won by Williamstown as they look to clear it out. High up and under ball from Leighton, finds no one. Manages to find her teammate in Hanrahan. A solid mark taken there. Hanrahan goes along the wing, almost kicks it out in the full. Almost tried to mark it was Alexia Hamilton. As the ball lands in the hands of a Williamstown opponent, as she gets dragged towards the boundary, it was Leighton there that ended up with the footy. Contesting the ruck here is Purcell and Alexia Hamilton. Getting the kick away was Slaney. As the ball heads towards midfield, players everywhere as Keeley manages to come away with the ball for North, but immediately cut off by Williamstown, the player in Baxter. Baxter elects to go along the wing on broadcast side. Here's Williamson. Kicks to Leighton. So So Leighton just slowing down and just considering her options here. Kicks inboard along the line. Ball finds no one in particular. As Price almost collects it for Williamstown, I should say. His body's on the ground everywhere. At least Colette.
Yeah, this tackling pressure is absolutely amazing so far. They're not very easy to get the ball out for either side.
Some great contributions to come from you for the rest of the day. So it's good to have you by my side. So I'm not solo as first thought. So ball comes back in. And missing the tap out was Purcell for Williamstown. The umpire's picked out a free kick. It's going to go the way of North. Here's Cox. Cox, an AFLW listed player, tried to find her teammate in Hicks, but nothing doing as the ball goes to ground. So going up for it, the two rucks in Sarek and King. As the ball heads towards midfield, towards the centre circle. North manages to get it out, and Hicks kicks it towards 50. Players hit the deck. Is coming through with it. Is the player who handballs to Jess Morney. Kicks it towards the square. Players in a scramble, ball in dispute. Umpire circling. And nothing doing. So another ball up here. Inside 50 for North. Solid forward entry from Morney. Rhymes with Warney. Just a fun fact, which apparently is a nickname at a local club she plays for. So good. So yeah, good to see that connection has been made. So here was Skinner. Loads up again for North. Gets it to Hicks. Hicks gets inbound. The mark was almost taken by a Williamstown opponent, and she's going to get a free kick. The umpire says, please give it back to Sasha Long. She needs a free kick here. And Long has it inside 50 for Williamstown. So Long elects to go to broadcast side. Fortunately misses her teammate there, but that same teammate almost collected it twice, couldn't quite. As they keep coming here, Williamstown, trying to get involved was Georges, who's kicked a goal already today. But the scramble continues as Hicks finds it for North. Handed it off to Eastman. One thing leads to another and the ball goes to ground. Umpire circling and balls it up again. As it's fair to say that supporters are fairly vocal out there, Alice Collette.
Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't you be? If you're passionate about a side, you make it known.
Lots to watch today. Plenty of good action on hand. So here's Longu. Has to cough up the ball. Gives it to Hamilton, Jade Hamilton that is. As she loads up inside 50. The kick around the body from Keeley is unfortunately wide. It's going to be a behind, so they register their first behind of the day and manages to get and also with that comes the lead, I should say. North 117 to Williamstown 1 straight 6.
Yeah, it was not the easiest of kicks from Kylie there. It was like round the body and over the head a bit, and it was impressive that she managed to get any kind of score.
So here come Williamstown. Bit of a shaky kick out as they look to find a way out. North players everywhere, circling, trying to build that wall. But almost cutting it off was Runnels for North, and Williamstown will still be able to find a way out here. So high up and under kick almost found Price for North, and he's going to get a kick inside 50. And the ball is currently in the possession of Runnels, who kicks it towards goal. But Williamstown quickly to cut it off. And they're going to find a clearance. They do just that, heading towards the centre circle. Players surrounding the footy. Umpire circling, hoping to just produce another ball up and adding to the stats for the umpires today. If they were to get Supercoach, gee, that would be an interesting proposition, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
So the umpire throws it up and gets 4 Supercoach points while we're at it. As Williamstown look to be the beneficiary of that rove. Getting involved was Runnels again for North. And chasing it, but then brought to ground was Skinner. As Williamstown try and move it out. The handball comes to Georges, who's kicked a goal. As I've been saying already, Fox is chasing the footy, trying to find her first goal in a while. Oh, clever hands off to Price, who runs into the open goal and has got it.
Very well done there. Great communication from Price because she had an acreage of space there and made the most of it. Great goal.
Absolutely it was. So, Williamstown hit the lead. 2 straight 12 to North 117 with 4 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the first term. This is a cracker of a game already.
Don't you love a good cracker of a football game on a Sunday afternoon?
Yes, absolutely. And unlike the first time I ever called footy in special comments, I now know what day it is. Yes, it was a Sunday afternoon, but I said Saturday for some inexplicable reason. It was a long weekend, so there was still the Monday to come, which feels like a Sunday. And at least I know what day it is, so a big shout out to Lauren Borden if you're listening. Yes, I do know the day of the week. As the tap down was run by North, but the ball goes to ground, landing in the hands of a Williamstown player. And it's going to be a ball up. So play continues here as North get a forward entry through it was Skinner. But the ball is in dispute for another ball up. Stoppage is the order of the day yesterday in the games that we did cover and you did watch on YouTube, probably those viewers watching at home, and hopefully expecting a lot less stoppages today since it's not too wet. This play continues here. The Williamstown player's under it. She manages to find a way out, but cutting her off is Runnels. But the scrum continues as Runnels brings her opponent down to ground. She didn't have the footy. And the umpire's picked out a free kick. It's going to be holding the ball. This is a very angry North fan.
Someone's angry about that.
I'm looking over to the coaches' boxes next to me, and they've identified the fact that yes, there's a very angry North fan out there.
Which doesn't make much sense because North just got the free, but.
Well, I don't actually know who the fan was. I think it might have been, who knows, we'll find it out. Anyway, so a kick inside, 50 for North. Players everywhere. I think it might actually be an angry Williamstown fan.
That would make more sense.
On reflection. So that's another don't come Monday moment from me if you're listening, but I don't think there are any fines for commentators like there are in footy clubs. So here we go. Ball goes up again. 45 metres out from the paint. Trying to gather the ball was Tripodi for Williamstown. And they managed to find a way out of 50, but it's short-lived as North try and gather. There's Nestor, but nothing doing there as there's a free kick. It's going to go the way of North.
For in the back by the looks of things.
So here's Skinner. She looks inboard. High up and under kick. Who's got the mark? You know what? That was pretty easy. Pretty easy as they come for Laura Wright, who will have a shot at goal, 45-degree angle. And about 20 metres out, we'll say.
It should be about 20 by the time she kicks it. And, yeah, it was a great mark. Great, simple chest mark. And so as a forward, that's what you want. Nice and simple.
So she'll take her full 30 here. As she goes in. Prepares to kick. The kick's on line. And almost cut off. It's going to be, yes, it was cut off. In fact, it's a behind.
She didn't look very confident in her run-up, did she?
Kick was on line, but then maybe wind might be a factor at the moment. It is a bit of perhaps left to right, just a little bit. So Williamstown look to move it out of defence here. And the kick finds Mead. So Mead with the footy, just slowing things down at the moment as they prepare for quarter time here at Arden Street Oval. Out towards broadcast side wing, players fire everywhere. Hicks had the most height advantage in that instance, having jumped way too high, but unfortunately mistimed it. Landing in the hands. The kick landed in the hands of Wallace, I should say, just trying to string a sentence together here and there. Unfortunately, sometimes not working out, but that's okay. So inside 50 again for North, and I tell you what, that's probably what we're probably going to see for the rest of the day, I think, and perhaps what's going to happen is Williamstown have got to rebound really quickly as the time ticks and expires. That's the end of the first quarter here at Arden Street. You're watching the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day here on YouTube between North Melbourne and Williamstown. The score, North Melbourne 1-2-8, Williamstown 2 straight 12. A cracker of a first quarter so far, and we're about to see more of that. Elise Collette.
Yeah, absolutely. A frenetic start. Great tackling pressure from both sides. It'll be interesting to see whether they can maintain that kind of intensity for the remaining 3 quarters. And one interesting thing I wanted to note is I was trying to keep count of the inside 50s for that quarter, and by my maths, North managed to have 11 inside 50s to Williamstown's 4. And look what the scoreboard is. So credit to Williamstown, and particularly the defenders, for keeping calm under pressure under that many inside 50s. And yeah, they've got the lead.
Yeah, I think Williamstown are going to take chances when they come, and they have done exactly that so far here at Arden Street Oval. You're watching the VFL Women's Match of the Day live on YouTube. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this. And welcome back to Arden Street Oval for the match of the day here on YouTube, the VFL Women's Match of the Day, that is, here at Arden Street Oval between North Melbourne and Williamstown. The score, North Melbourne 1-8, trailing Williamstown 2 straight 12. It's been a great, I nearly said gracking, it was a mixture of great and cracking, and you know what, you can say both things about this game so far. It's been an absolute cracker of a game. John O'Ven with you alongside Elise Collette in special comments. I'll tell you what, This is going to be a great second quarter. What do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. If it's anything like the first quarter, we're going to be in for a treat.
Indeed we are. So we have realised, we've done a bit of digging, and just to confirm with you, Elise, the player in the number 43 for North is?
Georgia Hammond, the North AFLW listed player, formerly of the Darebin Falcons.
That's it's good to write it down and just to consolidate. As players come off the field, and Williamstown players just having the final words from the captain. No doubt there is a great crowd building here at ARDEN Street along the boundary. Plenty of Williamstown players not playing today, and potentially North AFLW players as well after their great win today, I believe. So, almost about to restart here at ARDEN Street Oval. This is the VFL Women's Match of the Day on YouTube. As for some reason the scoreboard displays 2 minutes and 1 second. It's actually 20 minutes. So we just wait for things to get going.
Whoever's on the scoreboard needs to wake up and fix that. Maybe they left the timer going during the break there.
So here we go. According to the scoreboard, it's a 2-minute quarter. Probably not. So the ball goes up here. No, it's not. There we go. The scoreboard has changed and it will be 20 minutes. According to the scoreboard, which is good. So Williamstown with a big high up and under kick. Unfortunately, misses Price for North as Williamstown look to build on their first quarter performance straight inside 50. Fortunately, the player there for Williamstown was called high, but the kick is actually going in the direction of North. Price on the outer side. It's teammate, and then she gets the kick back. So Price wheels inbound, and the player marking it is, I can't quite see the number there. So anyway, so the North player kicks inboard there, but looking to cut it off for Williamstown was Tripodi, I think. So the play continues there. It's a lasso rule on the outer side wing, the far-reaching area of this ground. So the free kick is going to be taken as North look to find a snag and to take the lead. So here's Keeley. Or Kylie, I think it is.
I believe it is Kylie.
Is it? So Kylie, cool. So yeah, so she's kicked it, but unfortunately cut off by a Williamstown opponent as they rebound very quickly into no man's land. But two players come at it, and as the ball goes to ground, the umpire circles, but it's a high up and under kick, almost landing in the hands of the North player, but instead was that Williamstown player who was told to move on and moved on quickly. Ball goes to ground. Chasing it was Dickey, I think, as they keep coming, but North manages to find the footy out of all that, and they also find a free kick as well. So North rebounding here, kicking inside, but immediately cut off by Dickey for Williamstown. She's got a shot at goal if she wants. Doesn't elect to just take her time. She elects to move on really quickly to the top of the goal square. Who can take the mark? No one from Williamstown, unfortunately. The player taking the mark was Fitzgerald. As Fitzgerald goes wide again, but immediately cut off as trying to chase the ball as Runnels for North. Handballs left, right and centre as they manage to move it outside 50, but Williamstown are quick to rebound. So they look to do all day, taking the best of chances that they can. But unfortunately the ball goes out of bounds on the full, and taking the kick is, if I can see it, I can't. So going out wide, unfortunately the ball meets none of the North players as Long kicks it in, and will find Melnikas. The ball heads out of bounds, though.
I believe the North player actually marked it just before.
Okay, that's good. So North trying to clear it out again, but can't. The ball finds Willen for Williamstown as Williamstown will try and move it back inside 50. Players being brought to ground left, right and centre means that the umpire will ball it up. Another stoppage. 4 minutes gone, second term. So back up in the air. Getting the ball was the North player on the outer side, but it's Williamstown to just gather and just recollect. But unfortunately, they recollected a bit too much. As the ball heads out of bounds, boundary umpires. So the boundary umpire and the umpire consult briefly, but it's going to be a ball in. Elise Collette.
Yeah, this is a great start from Williamstown so far. 5 inside 50s to North. I don't even think it's gone anywhere near North's 50, but unfortunately for the Seagulls, the North defence is just too strong and they haven't been able to get a goal yet.
So play continues at Arden Street as after the ball in, nothing quite eventuates. No team can kind of break away. Another ball up here. And managing to get the tap out is Alexia Hamilton. But the ball goes to ground once again on the outer side near the Chemist Warehouse signage. So ball up in the middle. So ball up there, I should say. And it looked to be a ruck infringement there. Free kick to Williamstown. Player kicking the footy, or handballing rather, was King as they move. That is Williamstown. Inside 50 once again. Can they find a goal out of this and kick 3 straight? I think they might be a good chance here, but unfortunately North there to cut it off. But the ball is just seesawing. It's a bit like aerial ping pong at the moment as a kick towards the goal square couldn't quite get marked. As North looked to clear it again. So, player they're told to move on as the switch is on for North. Fitzgerald has the ball for the Roos, kicks it along the line and looks like a handball chain, looks to be set up by Hicks, but she elects to kick along the line. Not quite marking the footy is McDonald, but North are on here through Jade Hamilton. But Williamstown's there to cut it off. Can they find a goal though, North? And try and take the lead. The scramble continues here. Players in left, right and centre. But unfortunately the Williamstown player was dispossessed. And they're looking to rebound here. So here's Strafford. Kicks inboard. Couldn't quite find Price. So the ball heads down to ground. Getting in and under it, several players. But Williamstown comes out with it. Here's Whelan. Kicks inboard. But almost cut off by Eastman for North. As she tries to get the second effort. She can't quite. As Williamstown look to regroup. Yes, they do. The number 25 in Price just gathers and kicks outside, kicks towards the wing. Just along the centre square line near the NAB logo. Williamstown are going to find another inside 50, but cut off by a North opponent who moves across and finds Slaney. So Slaney along the line, player gets the mark and handballs, and another kick will find Alexia Hamilton, who, as the crowd appeals for 50, couldn't quite get it. So Hamilton along the line here. Kick finds Hicks. So Hicks along the line will find Kylie. She's been told to run by the coaches next to us. Just turn and go. She does exactly that. Takes 2 bounces inside 50. Can they find an option? No, they can't. But play continues there as the kick goes a little bit wide. I think it was Skinner having the shot at goal. That's the point.
Might have actually been McDonald, but they're so close there for North.
I did see a 5 there, so it was one of the two.
I believe it was McDonald.
Okay, thanks for that. So The score currently 139 to 2 straight 12. Only 3 points in it. 11 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this quarter. So North manages to pick it off here, but Williamstown look to get the clearance as they go out wide. Can they find a mark? Unfortunately finds no one. It's out in the full. North looking to rebound. Player with the footy in her hands is Greenacre, who decides to centre the footy to the top of the goal square. Can North find that goal to get in front? They can't as the ball is in dispute, going up and down and up and down. The ball goes to ground and in turn it's holding the ball. It's a free kick to Williamstown. Free kick taken by Mead. Mead heading towards right. She finds her. So Wright was thinking about going wide, but instead she turns it over. Immediately lands in the hands of Kylie. She's got it 52 metres out from goal. So Kylie inbound. Unfortunately misses her teammate in Hammond. As Williamstown look for an easy clearance once again. But as I say that, Alexia Hamilton marks it for North. 55 metres out from goal. Attempts to go towards the pocket and finds Kylie again. Getting plenty of possessions. She is. So Kylie towards the pocket. Almost finds her teammate, but as Williamstown look to regroup again, can North cut it off as they have so far? Almost goes over the head. Sorry, did go over the head of Alexia Hamilton. She almost took a mark and almost repeated what happened 20 seconds ago. As the ball heads towards midfield, Nesta couldn't quite, as a North player is brought to ground and left a bit worse for wear. That player is Greenacre, looked to be brought to the ground, didn't actually have the footy. As the play continues, heading in the direction of the Williamstown goal. It's going to be a free kick for a trip. And the kick is in the hands of Strafford, who goes inside 50. And the mark was taken by her teammate in... If you can see the number, Ali, that would be great. But it's a little bit hard to see in such an angle like this. So here we go. Another shot at goal for Williamstown. Is on its way. Looks pretty good, but unfortunately it's off hands and out of bounds. A throw in. It hit the post. Elise Collette.
For the record, I believe it was Tori Snelekis. Apologies about the pronunciation there, that had the shot on goal.
Thanks very much for that. It's good to have a slightly different angle looking at things, even though you're about 2 metres away from me, but that's okay. So another ball up, about 30 metres out from goal. 7 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in this quarter. Ball goes up. North manages to get the tap as they look for a clearance, but immediately cut off by the Williamstown player in Tripodi. Tripodi goes forward, but again, cut off by North. Players are down in the square. Can they find a goal from that? Just a little...
Touched on the line by the looks of things.
So the kick was made, and fortunately, the minus score. So the current score here, 139 to 113. So the first blemish on the scoreboard for the Seagulls. As North will find a way out. So they elect to go wide. High up and under kick. Lands in the hands of no one in particular. As Kylie tries to gather. But Williamstown on the way inside 50 once again. High up and under kick. Will unfortunately find no Williamstown players, but players are chasing it, and one of them is Neil for North. As the ball goes to ground, and another stoppage imminent.
It feels if I was part of the Seagulls coaching lineup, I'd feel very frustrated at the moment because they're getting all the inside 50s. By my count, they've had 8 inside 50s already, but every single time, about 10 metres out from goal, they manage to kick it to a North defender, or the North defender is somehow able to cut it off and thwart a Seagulls chance at goal.
Yeah, match analyst Elise Collette there, just giving us some great insights throughout the game as play continues. A couple of stoppages, but after all that, it's Williamstown looking to go inside 50 again. Player marking there just on the paint, and the player there is Snellex, who had a shot at goal just moments ago. Hits her teammate perfectly on the chest. And that teammate is the number 36 in Bridget Hanrahan. So Hanrahan pretty much directly in front here, about, let's say, 25 out from goal, I think. Looking to kick away and give her team a bit of an advantage with not much time left in this second quarter here at Arden Street. So the ball is kicked and nobody manages to touch it. It's another goal.
A great kick there from Hanrahan, and a great mark as well, because it looked like the North defender coming across was going to thwart her attempt at a mark there, but she managed to hold the defender off and take the mark.
So players marking the line there, and unfortunately none of them can touch it. So the ball sails through once again, and Williamstown have a 10-point lead, 3-1-19 to 139. So the scoreboard's a bit of a... It's not quite a palindrome, is it? 1-3-3-1. Actually, yes, it is. It is. Yeah, beautiful. Good to see a bit of... yeah, it's not. It's quite rare to see palindromes in footy, and looking at that. Useless factor. That's another one.
We almost need a useless fact count for you this afternoon.
Absolutely.
What's that, like 4 now?
Absolutely. Start the count. So we're on 4 on the useless factor meter as the ball goes up again. Getting the tap down with Sarek for North, and the ball in dispute for the moment. It's the player that went down onto the ground for North, being Skinner, was absolutely flattened, and there's another ball up here, about 5 metres to the left of the centre circle. So here comes Williamstown again through Tripodi inside 50, but immediately cut off by her North opponent. Her North opponent being Kira Price, kicking out wide and finding no one in particular. Williamstown looking to regroup here, don't have much time. A hurried handball will still get in the hands of a Williamstown teammate, kicking it inside 50. Then one around the body, fortunately, will land in the hands of Nestor, who kicks towards broadcast side. Going to find Morney.
Another case of good attack from Williamstown, thwarted 10 metres out by North.
So Morney told the play on. It was a hurried kick, almost gathered by Alana Dickey for Williamstown, and she's going to get a free kick. So North opponent stands right on the paint, and the kick from Dickey is good and will find the number 1 in Chloe Layton. So a very tight angle this one here, but she looks to settle herself and go for goal. Layton, no, instead looks to go inboard and finds her teammate, number 28, in Alana Dickey. She's been solid as well for Williamstown today. So here's Dickey at a much tighter angle after gathering the ball. Looks to go inboard again. Unfortunately, the ball goes to ground off a half volley, but still finds a Williamstown teammate as the scramble for the footy ultimately lands in the hands of Kira Price for North. That ultimately lands with the ball in dispute, and there's another ball up. Elise Collette.
Yeah, great defensive pressure here from North, just to thwart every Williamstown opportunity in the past couple of minutes, and which there have been plenty.
1 minute 45 remaining in this second term here at Arden Street. This is the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day, live on YouTube. As a free kick will go the way of Eliza Strafford for the Seagulls. Strafford inboard, but immediately cut off by the North player. As the scramble for the footy continues, players go to ground, as does the ball. Umpire circling. It'll be a ball up, about 25 metres out from the goal on the left-hand side. One last roll of the dice for Williamstown, you might imagine. So, ball goes up and no one can get a clear head out as the ball goes back down again. There'll be another ball up with exactly 1 minute to go here at Arden Street in the second quarter. Score North Melbourne 139 to 3-1-19. The scoreboard palindrome. There's a Williamstown player there in Will and tries to circle around and get the offload out the back, but nothing doing as the scramble will continue and end in another ball up. 38 seconds on the clock. Ball up once again. As the ball will land in the hands of a North player as they try and find their way out. They do, but Williamstown immediately cut them off. A hurried little handball will find it in the hands, I should say, of Lana King, but she couldn't quite as the ball heads out of bounds off a kick from a Williamstown player, which will go the way of North now. So the ball, unfortunately, in the hands of Eastman has to be given straight back to the umpires. That is the halftime break here at Arden Street for the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day between North Melbourne and Williamstown. The score 139 to 3-1-19 at halftime. It's an awesome game so far, and it's good to have Elise Collette alongside me in special comments. Your thoughts after the first half?
It's an interesting first half so far. What I found is my counting is probably a couple off, to be fair, but whatever team has been kicking down that end that Williamstown were kicking towards in that second term dominated the inside 50 count, but just couldn't convert on the scoreboard. For that second quarter, I've counted 13, maybe 14 inside 50s for Williamstown then, for one behind, I think it was, to North Melbourne's 3, maybe 4 inside 50s. One thing, I did notice, I was alluding to earlier, particularly for Williamstown, was they were looking good going inside 50, but then about 10 metres out from goal, there was that North defender just on the last line there, able to intercept market and start a chain heading back out again.
Going around the grounds, just briefly, it's the end of the game between Essendon and Port Melbourne at the Hangar. Final score, Port Melbourne 6-2-38, defeating Essendon 4-3-27.
Wow.
So it was a very close finish indeed, and Port Melbourne have taken the chocolates home, which means they're now 5 from 5.
Wow. Port are a really interesting factor this year. I wasn't sure how they were going to go. Completely new side, the whole Richmond factor plus a few other factors, but I think they've proven a lot of doubters wrong, and it should be interesting to see how far they can go this year.
Just looking at the goal kickers, which I have spotted. So, goal kickers for Port Melbourne, Harley with 2, Dyett with 1, Saxon Jones, the Richmond listed player, with 2 goals. And one of my favourites at Port, the number 30, Sarah McNamara, with a goal.
Nice.
She also got a bit of leather poisoning as well, hopefully. So, again, the final score 6-2-38, defeating the Bombers 4-3-27 at the Hangar. Well, that is halftime at Arden Street Oval. We're going to take a bit of a break. You're listening and watching the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day live here at Arden Street with John O'Van and Alice Collette. We'll see you very soon. And welcome back to the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day between North Melbourne and Williamstown at Arden Street Oval. It is the halftime break currently with North Melbourne trailing Williamstown 139 to 3-1-19. John O'Ven with you as host and play-by-play commentator alongside the special comments. I guess, I don't know, trying to think of a word, you know what, special comments specialist, there you go, Elise Collette. Welcome. Once again, apologise I haven't, trying to get your name out quickly, sometimes you don't say it right, but there's a few people that do that, I suppose.
Yes, so I do often get called Alice, so much so that when anyone meets me for the first time and actually says Elise, it's quite a nice surprise.
Absolutely. So, a cracking game of footy despite what the scoreboard indicates. And I think Williamstown are well in control here as they come out on the field.
Yeah, I think you're right. They definitely making more of their chances than than North Melbourne are, despite the what happened in the second quarter with the dominance in the inside 50s. It'll be interesting to see actually if that trend continues in this term. See how many inside 50s North get compared to Williamstown, because they're kicking up that particular end that I don't actually know the name of. The opposite to the pool end, I'm mentally calling it. The right of screen end, we'll say.
It's certainly been a game of utilising forward 50 entries, and both teams have been really good at taking the ball outside 50. And we're ready to go here for the second half here at Arden Street. As the umpire gets ready to go. Sees the 5-6-5, and we're ready to go for the second half here at Arden Street. This is the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day. Getting the tap out first was Sarek for North. She tries to follow it up with the second effort. Finding the ball was Runnels for North as she's dispossessed, looking to get the second effort. But North will pick up the crumbs and just try to manage, but they can't as they move towards the outer side. Nestor almost received the handball, followed up with the second effort. And that previous handball came from Molly Eastman as she grabs the ball and loads up, moves it inside 50 for North. It lands in the hands of Hammond, but she's immediately wrapped up about 55 metres out from the North goal as the umpire says, I'll have it. 40 seconds gone, not 40 minutes, 40 seconds gone, first term. So North on the tap out once again. Sarek's been really good in that regard, winning plenty of taps, and as she's nearby, her teammate and Kylie will take the kick, and the kick finds Runnels about 60 metres out from goal as she loads inboard. North teammate couldn't quite take the mark. So the ball goes to ground, and Williamstown look to rebound, but unfortunately for them it lands in the hands of North as the kick heads down to the goal square. And then number 17 and Alexia Hamilton will have another shot at goal. Liz Collette.
Yeah, Alexia was absolutely a star last week for North, and they'll be hoping she can continue that kind of form for particularly the second half of this match.
So here's Hamilton lining up to give North a chance, but fortunately it is hooked left and will be another behind. 1-4-10 to 3-1-19. The palindrome scoreboard has unfortunately departed us for the time being. So Williamstown out of defence now. The mark is taken by Long, who's just assessing her options here. So elects to go down the line, but unfortunately is immediately cut off by Sarek, the North ruck, who will immediately unload back inside 50 for the Roos. There's a pack of players, but coming out of it looks to be North as they still scramble, but it's Williamstown looking for a quick clearance. They manage to find it as they head towards the BHP logos of the ground, and the scramble will continue about 75 metres out from goal as the umpire circles. And we'll have a ball up by the looks of things. No, it was a... Yes, indeed, it will be a ball up. The other field umpire is getting in the way of that. So here come Williamstown almost as the Williamstown players drag to ground, but they look for a second effort.
It looks like the Williamstown player there was held without the ball.
And indeed, that is the case as the free kick's been paid. So the free kick was to Hanrahan, I believe, who kicks out wide. Her teammate told to play on. She twists and turns and burns her opponent, kicking inboard. Her teammate couldn't quite get the mark as the ball goes to ground and there's a scramble of players. Umpire circling, ball up. And 3.5 minutes gone. Third term, Elise Collette.
The old scramble, not quite sure of the word here, but yeah, a lot of tough defensive pressure from both sides continuing once again early in this third term.
So North move it inside 50, but immediately cut off by the Williamstown player. The Williamstown player in Hanrahan, by the looks of things. No, it's not Hanrahan. It is... I think it actually might be. So back outside 50, the kick will find her teammate in Lana King. Kicks out wide. It's North players quick to pounce as players around the footy with the ball on the ground. Umpire circling once again. Blows the whistle and says, I'll have it. So on the outer side wing, very close to the NAB logo there. So the tap out was won by North on this occasion as they go inside 50. Chasing the ball for Williamstown was Baxter, but she couldn't quite get the ball as it trickles out of bounds. It's going to be a boundary throw-in.
This is starting to remind me a bit of the opening minutes of the second quarter. North have been inside 50 4 times already, and Williamstown last term were inside 50 5 times in the opening 5 minutes.
So ball in here. Sarek gets the deft touch for North, but unfortunately the ball's buried in a pack of players with the North player in Jade Hamilton buried in a tackle with about 2 Williamstown players as the ball comes back up again, I should say. Ball and players hit the deck, but it's Williamstown managing to get another clearance as they've been good at that all day, but immediately cut off by North. The player is Nestor that has the footy. The 2018 Premiership Hawk will kick to Slaney. She marks. Slaney right on the paint of the NAB logo, kicks a high up and under kick, which...
Looks like it was 50 for encroachment again.
There is a 50-metre penalty. And North have a better chance here of kicking a goal. And can you see the number there, Elise?
Not yet.
Yeah,
I'll let you know when I can.
Yeah, it is actually the number 7 for North in Slaney. Was awarded that 50-metre penalty. She comes in. Ball's on its way. Touched on the line. All clear, one behind.
If it had a little bit more oomph on that kick, it would have been another goal, and the margin would have become very close game.
North 1-5-11, trailing Williamstown 3-1-19. Williamstown with a defensive kick out, but immediately collecting the ball is Amy Smith. She immediately is dispossessed, is trying to chase it as Will and for Williamstown. Players all around the ball, to the left, to the right, to the front, to behind. But the umpire says, I'll board up.
It was good work from the North forwards to lock it in their 50 after that Williamstown kick out.
So almost getting the tap out was Alexia Hamilton for North as the ball goes to ground once again. Umpire circling. Who's got the footy? Did they dive on it? Yes, they did indeed. It's going to be a free kick to Williamstown. No, sorry. No, sorry. The hand went the wrong way. It's going to be a free kick to North.
Don't you just love that when they...
It's in the hands of Hamilton. Gee, she's had a fair bit of leather poisoning today.
Continuing her good form from last week, just like her sister.
Indeed. So Hamilton comes in. Ball's on its way. Goes towards the square. Can they get the crumbs, North? No, they can't. No, they can't, as the kick is successfully cleared by Williamstown, landing in the hands of Price. So Price with a high up and under kick. Fortunately, lands in the hands of no one in particular, as McDonald collects for North, but immediately is dispossessed as North regroup through Smith. Smith inside 50. Trying to make ends meet was the number 17 in Alexia Hamilton, sister of Jade. Fortunately, she has missed, and it's just one behind. So now 1-6-12, 3-1-19, 7 points in it. 11 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the third term here at Arden Street. You're watching the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day on YouTube. So Williamstown here continue the exit out of defence. A mark is safe in the hands of another Williamstown player who moves across, but chasing and trying to cut it off is Brooke Slaney. The ball is in dispute currently, but can one of the teams find the way out? Yes, indeed. It's going to be Williamstown, but immediately North is there to cut it off in the hands of Runnell. So she goes inboard, goes to -2, 3 -2 is 1 in Molly Eastman. It's got the ball on the outer side. It's to about 60 metres out from goal, but almost immediately cut off by Williamstown. But North look to go inside 50 again. Can they find a mark? No, they can't. Players circling left and right. Williamson gets involved for Williamstown as that tongue twister once again, and looks like she is going to get a free kick. So Williamson, sisters are options, gets told to play on, weaves around Cox for North, who and unfortunately it's Williamson kicking towards the boundary. It's going to be another boundary throw in Elise Collette.
Yeah, this is a great quarter from North. Despite the fact that they haven't managed to get a goal yet, they've managed to lock it in their forward half of the ground and not let Williamstown get it anywhere near their 50, let alone anywhere near the goals.
So, ball in, ultimately lands in the hands of Morney, who goes inside 50, but immediately turns it over in the hands of her Williamstown opponent, the number 37 in Talia Wright. So Wright goes out once again, as they've been doing so well with the clearances, but North look to cut it off as they have been doing so well all day. Nestor goes out wide, and North continue to run about 60 metres out from goal. The mark is taken by the number 29 in Neil, I think. So inside 50 for North. Can they find the goals? Hammond tries to kick, couldn't quite, as the ball trickles ever so closely towards North's goal. Can they find a way out the back as ball and players hit the deck? There's going to be a free kick to North.
Possibly for hell. I wasn't quite sure what the umpire was calling there, but
the number 19 in Laura Wright is claiming the kick. She'll have a set shots.
Yeah, this is probably
so
one
Wright
of
just
your
composing
best
herself. So Wright just composing herself, and to bring Williamstown's lead within 1 point. A lot resting on this kick, and can North find a spark? The kick's on its way. The umpire does not have to move. And that is a goal for North. 2-6-18. Trailing Williamstown by the solitary point. 3-1-19 with about 8 minutes to go in the third term. Elise Collette.
Yeah, great kick there from Laura Wright. And finally some reward for effort for North, because they've been so dominant this quarter. They haven't even let it get anywhere near Williamstown's forward 50. That it's barely gone past the centre square, like towards the Williamstown forward 50. And yeah, as much as it'd be frustrating that of all those behinds, three for the term so far, but finally some reward for effort, and game on.
Goes without saying, yes, we definitely have a game on our hands as North will win the tap out, but fortunately nothing doing as the play stays within the centre circle of the ball up, landing after the ball landed in the hands of Sarek, so she goes up again. But Williamstown were about to launch the counter-attack after North brought Williamstown's lead to about a point as players scramble to find a way out. Can Nestor get involved and create a clearance? Yes, she can, as Morny almost takes the mark on centre wing, but she collects the second effort. Kick almost hit Hammond on the chest as North just keep going, and Hammond is just going effort after effort to try and secure North the footy. North moving in and out as the kick was smothered by the Williamstown player. And the ball is to ground. Ball in dispute. Umpire circling, says I'll have it. So 6 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this term. Oh, gee, I tell you what, the final term is just going to be awesome. So ball goes up, and winning the tap there was Alexia Hamilton. But unfortunately, roving it with a solid effort was the Williamstown opponent, who's gone to ground. That Williamstown player is Williamson. She's been good today. Ball going up again. And getting the tap once again is Alexia Hamilton. So as play moves towards the broadcast side wing, Tripodi tried to pick it up for Williamstown. Couldn't quite. Umpire calls play on as the ball's in dispute, but it lands in the hands of a Williamstown player. Getting wrapped up was Skinner for North as she had the footy, and she's got a free kick. No, she hasn't. It's Hicks. It's gonna be a free kick to Rennie Hicks. She's got it 60 metres out from goal. Likes to move off her line and play on with a kick inside 50. As North have
I believe
been paid a free kick against them, so
I believe it was a throw.
Thanks very much for that, Elise Collette, in special comments today alongside John Oven, your host and commentator. So here's Hicks regrouping for North, and Hamilton sends a high one inside 50. Trying to take the mark was Hammond. She couldn't quite, but trying to follow up was, I think it was Nikki Wallace, just trying to kick inside, and play grinds to a halt as the Williamstown player manages to get a kick. Manages to chop off the kick, I should say. So here come Williamstown again, looking to break the game open a bit with a high up and under kick to a pack. Who can take the mark? Mark was claimed by Hamilton, and the umpire thinks so too. As they go inside 50 once again, here's Cox. So Caitlyn Cox, AFLW listed player for North, lines up. Unfortunately, it's a bit skew if as it goes to the right of the point post, and it's still a mark taken, or was it a free kick? I think it was a mark.
Yeah, it was a mark.
So a mark does land in the hands of Megan Kiley, who's got a shot 45 metres out from goal. With about 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third term. Can I get the lead back? So Kiley kicks, and kicks truly. North are in front. Amazing stuff, Elise Collette.
Wow, that kick from Cox, it looked a bit dodgy off the boot, but it worked. And landing in the hands of North skipper there and Kylie, who kicked truly, and North are back in front.
Tell you what, I reckon the Sharon had a mind of its own then and said, you know what, I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to go to one of your teammates. I'm working for you. And indeed, the Sharon did work for North on that occasion. And they're in front. So North 3-6-24 leading Williamstown 3-1-19 with less than 3 minutes to go in the third term. You're watching the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day here on YouTube. Thanks for your company. It's a beautiful day here in North Melbourne. As play restarts here, getting the tap out was Sarek, and the ball just continues to move along the ground as if it's a soccer game. Trying to gather the ball was Leighton. Williamstown look to clear the ball. So they almost do that as Sophie Georges almost got the ball. But it lands in the hands of North and then turns it straight back over. It's Scarlett Donnell who's got the ball for Williamstown, who goes down the line on broadcast side. But taking a courageous mark is Megan Kiley. She's been good today. As Kiley kicks to Morney, but she couldn't quite juggle the mark. Goes to ground. She handballs towards the centre, but collected by a Williamstown opponent. As she runs and runs without a bounce, probably didn't have time to bounce, but the ball goes down to ground. Umpire circling and says, "I'll have it." Gee, this has been a fascinating contest from the perspective of how well the teams can control the turnovers.
Absolutely, and there's been plenty of turnovers, particularly with about 10 metres out from goal.
So it was Hamilton getting the tap down, and North will regroup. Here's Morney just juggling. She misses it, unfortunately. Doing a good job to immobilise was Mel Nickus for Williamstown, but North just keep on coming. The kick was smothered by... the kick from Amy Smith was smothered by her Williamstown opponent, not teammate. Bit of a tongue twister sometimes, but that's okay, as I'm looked at kind of funny by the people next to me. So here we go. Inboard once again. Getting the tap was Alexia Hamilton, just with a double fist, and she goes again. It looked like a half volley, but the umpires paid the mark. The mark lands in the hands of Kiley. She launches. Can't find the 50 as Long goes up, and then she goes immediately to ground. The mark was claimed by Hammond after Long's spoil was ineffective. But they look to... So North have given away a free kick here. Williamstown have the footy about 15 metres out from North's goal. So heads towards the boundary. Solid smother from the North player in Morney, who immediately goes to ground after that courageous effort. Who can come out of this one as ball goes to ground? A little bit of high contact on the North player in Hammond, but the umpire calls play on, as that is three-quarter time here at Arden Street. We're up for an incredible finish here. It's a beautiful day. It is seriously a splendid contest to call. 5 points in it and 5 minutes just to regroup. Consider what might happen in the fourth term. Your thoughts, Elise Collette?
Oh, where do I begin? This is a cracker of a game. I'm grateful to be here, to be honest, but yeah, what a quarter from North. I was just quickly checking here. 9 inside 50s to one very brief inside 50 from Williamstown that you can't... I don't know if you'd actually call an inside 50 or not, but the scoreboard shows North kicked 2 goals 3 to Williamstown's no score, and it's a reason North are back in front. They were just absolutely brilliant that term, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes in the final term. So, plenty of action still to come here on YouTube. You're watching the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day. John Oven and Elise Collette with you. And it's going to be an absolutely epic final term. Stay with us. Fourth quarter coming up right after this.
this week for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I get thumbs up from the guys, assuming that perhaps we've got signal. Can someone come in here? Cool. So it was on. So that's good because I saw the main mix. That's good. So here we go. And Hamilton going up in the ruck once again for North, but it's going to go free kick the way of Williamstown, and it's a 50-metre penalty resulting. Elise Collette.
Originally, it was for a holding held without possession, but then it looked like the North player just didn't give the ball back on the full there.
Just realised after all of that the fader was down, so some good things happening there that fortunately we didn't get in commentary there. So apologies for that.
Brilliant kick. I can't say who that was, but brilliant kick from the Williamstown player there.
So a goal to Williamstown.
A few very excited Williamstown fans down on the ground there can cheering so loudly you can hear from up here in the box.
Exactly, and a big shout out also to one of their one of the Williamstown supporters supporting her teammate and also Division 2 coach in M Fox, Meg Speak, who will captain the Sharks Division 2 in the Southeast Women's. So that'll be good to see. So we restart here. And the ball heads in the direction towards the right. And unfortunately, nothing doing. It's going to be a ball up. So play continues. It's a scramble. And Williamstown look to be the beneficiaries of a clearance, but it's cut off by North. Scramble happening there on the outer side, very close to the NAB logo. It's going to be a ball up. Elise Collette.
I haven't got much to say. It threw me under the bus a bit there. But,
sorry.
Yeah, it's turning out to be very interesting, very even last quarter here. And not quite sure which way it'll turn. We've still got about 10 minutes left, but could easily go either way. One team just needs that quick break, and it could go their way.
Excellent stuff. Great to have your contributions as well. As play continues here, as random things are playing here in the box as distractions come, but here come Williamstown. Can they find the lead? 10 minutes to go, so still plenty of footy to come. Here's Stratford. She goes out wide. Fortunately misses her teammate there as it trickles over the boundary line. 10 minutes and 10 seconds to go here at the final term at Arden Street. You're watching North and Williamstown. It's the VFL Women's Match of the Day here on YouTube. So ball in. And there's a free kick immediately to North. Centering ball finds in the hands of Kira Price, who moves the ball forward for North.
It looks like
taking the
there
mark.
wasn't an injury issue
Now
for
that
Sarek, 'cause she's
exactly.
back out.
So Sarek is back out in the field. Sarek kicks to Runnels, who runs in. Excuse the pun, but unfortunately, it's cut off by the Williamstown player in Bridget Hanrahan. She's been really impressive today as well, Elise Collette.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been a star all over the place here for Williamstown.
So Hanrahan kicks to Olivia Purcell. Slows down the play ever so slightly as a pack forms about where she's about to kick it. Almost directly kicked it to Sarek. She's unable to mark it as she goes to ground along with her Williamstown opponent. The Williamstown opponent being Ella Baxter. And Rucks nominate once again, and Sarek will get involved for North there. So can North find a way? Cox gathers, but unfortunately the kick is a bit too short. But North, with their incredible pressure, will find probably a way in here as number 1 goes to number 2 for North as they centre the ball. But unfortunately, it might have backfired here as the ball's in dispute. Williamstown ever so pushing very closely to the forward line. Who's going to get the footy? It's going to be Williamstown as they move it inside 50, but immediately cut off by North. Incredible almost mark taken by Runnels. She's been great today. And they move it on the outer side. The mark is taken by the number 13 in Megan Kiley. Gee, she's been good too. And so inside 50 once again for North. Players circling. One of them's Hammond. But Williamstown has the ball at the moment. Trying to move outside 50 again is Bridget Hanrahan trying to chase the footy. But North just have it all in control at the moment as ball goes to ground. A soccer off the ground almost by Greenacre. Backfires. And it's going to be a free kick to Williamstown.
Yeah, Cox was pinned for a throw there.
So Williamstown almost. And just to clear, but instead it's going over the boundary line for a throw-in. 7 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock left here at Arden Street for the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day with John O'Ben and Elise Collette. So ball in. Getting the tap out was Sarek. Once again, she's been really good with the hit-outs today. And holding the ball is paid to North. Who's got the footy this time? It's the number 7, Ian Brooks Laney. She's basically got the chance here to bring it out to a 10-point lead and make the coaches very happy next to me and next to us, I should say. So here's Slaney now. Approaches. The kick's good, but ends up at the top of the goal square. Williamstown looking to regroup here. Hanrahan gets involved and they clear it out. So the Williamstown player there directs traffic towards the outer side. Pack building. The mark is taken solidly there by the number 18 in Stratford as they move it outside. They move it along the outer side, I should say. But North, again, just cut it off. Gee, how many times have I said the phrase "but North" today?
Plenty.
Yeah, exactly. So Sarek rebounds in for North, but it's going to be cut off by Long, who goes to ground. Solid tackle there by the number 15 in Skinner for North. And it's going to be another ball up, just 52 metres out from North's goal. Tap out's won by Sarek again, but players go to ground. And it's going to be another ball up. What's going to happen in this next 5 minutes, Elise Collette?
It could be anything, but I think I prefer to be in the North camp at the moment over the Williamstown camp, not just because they're in front, but because North have been more dominant and it is, well, was down their end. It's now creeping towards the Williamstown end.
Indeed it is. So here's Price kicking towards the boundary and broadcast side, and she follows up with the tackle as players go down to ground. Directly in front of us is jumpers are pulled left, right and centre. To the left, to the right, to the front and to behind. Ball goes up. There's Sarek there. But the ball lands in the hands of Williamstown. It's Williamson again. There we go. I didn't get a tongue twister this time. As a pack forms with the North player underneath it. I think it's Eastman with the footy. No, it wasn't Eastman. I think it was the number 31 in Kira Price getting involved in the contest. Another ball up. There was Williamson. She was brought to ground. And it's going to be another ball up. 4 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in this game. The Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day live on YouTube. Oh, how good's this? This is an absolutely epic game. So a tap out won by North once again. So the ball is just teetering along the ground, but Williamstown look to get a clearance through the number 11 in Tripodi. But North gather with a handball to the boundary line. It's a lasso rule. Turnover for Williamstown. Who's got the footy? It is the number 11 in Tripodi. Going inside 50. Can they find a way out the back? As the player goes to ground and solidifying the fact that players have gone to ground. Kira Price gathers the footy and also goes to ground. Play continues here. And it's going to be another ball up by the looks of things. Plenty of ball ups today. Plenty of stoppages. So here we go. Restart here. Just in the pocket there. As North, well, they almost tried to get one out the back, but players circle and jump on everybody and jump on the footy in turn. And it's another stoppage, Elise Collette.
Stoppages have been the order of the day, but...
The order of the weekend, perhaps.
Yeah, but it could get very interesting here if Williamstown are able to get it out of the pack at all, and very quickly. And if one kick, there's only a couple of minutes left, one kick could change the entire game, could define the entire game.
A couple of minutes left indeed. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to be specific. It's down Williamstown's end, but North looked for the clearance. Can they gather? Number 15, the number 16 in Greenacre tried to gather, but it's another ball up. Small ball ups, and the umpires in the AFL are telling players to stand, I reckon. So gathering the ball for Williamstown that's right, you guessed it, Williamson. As Oh yeah, absolutely. So, but the ball heads out of bounds. Once again, another stoppage. Boundary umpire confirming the rucks there. And the ball goes up, spinning. Tap out looked to be the advantage of North, but gathering was Hanrahan. Or was it Muller? I think it was. They scramble to find a way in and get ever so close to the goals. Williamstown getting ever so close. A mark was almost taken there, but North, again, there we go, but North trying to find a way out. It just shows how important clearances are in this game. With 90 seconds left in this game right now here at Arden Street, another ball up here. So Hamilton going up. Unfortunately, it lands in the hands of a Williamstown opponent, but a free kick has been awarded.
Holding the ball, so this could prove very costly here for Williamstown.
Can they ice the clock for this long? I'm not sure. So here come North, outside 50 once again, and a solid mark taken with a minute to go. And Hamilton. Who's got the ball? None other than Alexia Hamilton, who has iced the clock. Well, or looks to ice the clock as perfectly as possible. So out on the outer side wing, North just sort of move it as Hamilton's moved down. And I tell you what, the coaches are pretty happy with that. So Hammond with the ball, I think.
North will just look to slow it down.
Just trickling it over as the clock trickles down. And that lands in
away 50.
And it's a 50-metre penalty as well. With 22 seconds left on the clock, North are going to win at their home ground. 2 wins in 2 days here at Arden Street.
Two close finishes for two wins, mind you. But yeah, that is going to hurt for Williamstown. They were looking so good, but yeah, just right at the end there. Couldn't quite do it. No
chance to score there as the siren sounds. That's all she wrote here at Arden Street for the weekend. Final score, North Melbourne 4-6-30 overcoming Williamstown 4-2-26. What a game, eh?
Ay. Not quite sure what to say there. Yeah, what a game. We were talking earlier about how we thought this was going to be a cracker. It lived up to expectations.
It was prophetic.
Done to North. Commiserations to Williamstown.
Wow.
Wow, what do I say?
Oh, that was absolutely incredible. An absolute pleasure to join you here for the Rebel VFL Women's Match of the Day. North Melbourne getting over Williamstown 4-6-30 to 4-2-26. 4 points in it. Oh, what an incredible game that was. I've been John O'Ven. The individual to the right of me has been Elise Collette, and will be Elise Collette in good... great contributions, as always, and yeah, looking forward to the next time. So, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.